In search of peace and happiness, the human mind wouldn't rest. A constant nag within we soul, demanding respect from the world. We get the urge in different form, but luxury is the norm. Money is very essential, but can't buy peace of mind at all. We still like dogs without a bone if we have the money alone. Because appreciation plays on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because importance, if we are drive to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously.
Yes. Special good evening to one and all. This is the E-Biz Show on Radio Toco 106.7 FM. My name is Andrew Williams. This evening we have some very interesting people on board with us as guests. And Calypso Kerr is one of those people. And he'll be joining us here on Radio Toco 106.7 FM. And of course, you heard from Johnny King. We also will have Johnny with us at some point later on. Gary Cardenas is expected to join us, as well as Rubadiri Victor, to tell us all about the Pantheon, which is an exhibition of King and Queen carnival costumes now on at Millefleur around the Savannah at one of the magnificent 7 buildings around the Savannah. So lots of stuff in this 2-hour period this evening on Radio Toco 106.7 FM. Good evening to you, Krabby. How are you going?
And good evening. I'm doing good so far. Here the rain now decided it's going to fall on my side.
All right, great. You're having some rainfall, you said, on your side?
Yeah. Just showers of blessings right now.
All right, well that's good. At least you're gonna have a cool night. Yes, at least. All right, so let's get a little more of that Johnny King. We'll take a little more of that Johnny King right down to the end as we get ready to invite our guests here on the E-Biz Show here at Radio Toco 106.7 FM, 8 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. Yeah, we're not rushing it, Andrew. We're not rushing it. 8 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go with some more Johnny King here. Appreciation. And of course, that's what we about to talk to Johnny and the others about. Appreciation for the culture. Let's go.
All man strive to be happy. Relentless search for luxury. In search of peace and happiness, the human mind wouldn't rest. A constant nag within we soul, demanding respect from the world. We get the urge in different form, but luxury is the norm. Money is very essential, but can't buy peace of mind at all. We still like dogs without a bone if we have the money alone. Because appreciation plays on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because importance, if we are drive to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously. The feeling drive you in the game. You do anything to get a good name. Some wealthy men turn to suicide. Can't find food to feed their pride. The aged and crippled in the ring fight to feel like a king. Children become delinquents for lack of love from their parents. That's why appreciation is most important to man. Appreciation plays on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because important, if we are drive to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously. To bad industrial relations, employees will gladly draw their pay and do the job half the way. When workman feeling unwanted, the working spirit is daunted. He comes on the job and fool around, production going down. Just make him feel significant. You get him do anything you want. A pat on the back is the best move for relations to improve. Appreciation is on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because important, if we are drive to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously.
Yeah, Lloyd. Hello. Hello.
Our deepest craving is common. All we need is attention to put us in the happy zone, regardless of what we own. Life is lonely without it. Each one should give a little bit. Do what you want your neighbors do, then life on earth will be true. Take a tip from the scripture. Appreciate one another. Share your love and make the mold for total peace in the world. Appreciation plays on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because important, if we are drive to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously.
Later on.
Everyone needs some.
In, let's say a special good evening, gentlemen. How are you all? Good evening.
Good
Good evening,
evening,
Gary. How are
sir.
you going?
Fine, thank you.
Good,
How are you
man.
going? Long time I ain't see you, White Krabby. All is well?
Nice crappy. The wall is always well.
Ah, nice to know. Nice to know.
Let's see if Kirk can unmute his mic. Carlston, if you're hearing me, you can unmute your mic. So Gary, how you been? I mean, lots of stuff happening. I'm seeing people going south by southwest. We're talking about our home girl, Patrice. She should be on sometime. I think it's next week. It's the 19th or something.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
stand corrected.
Yeah, next week.
And of
Sometime
course,
during next week.
yeah. hmm And of course, we most likely will chat with Robert Derry in the second hour because we want to talk about that exhibition, important exhibition that's happening at Millfleur around the Savannah. One of the it's called Pantheon. It's the
Mm-hmm.
kings and queens of Carnival, and people already launching and in the Carnival mood or mode. Um, Scrabby, if you could just pull up Carnival 73 from the list that we played um last week, and I wanted Gary to hear this. You would know the song. I mean, we later did an impersonation of one of those foreign acts singing that particular song, Carnival 73. This would have been this the same album with Rama. Um, but it you got it, Carrie? Yeah. So
Right on.
it tells the story of where we are right now. So let's take a little listen to that while we wait for Kurt to come in. All yours, Carrie.
I wasn't pleased with the fet. I must admit I regret. Carnival in 72 was really too wet. I had to bear all the strain with all the mud and the rain. Well, I only hope that it doesn't happen again. When the last event paraded, which was very brief, everybody breathed a sigh of relief. But 73, we folks is going on a rump. We really planning to jump like a male kangaroo. For you see, we have to enforce a line to compensate for the time that we lose 72. Everybody, all class, making merry, play fast. We go jump in the line, we go roll, we go wine, we go make we back and I, yeah. Who we're jumping, rolling, who we're rolling, whining. We go make up for all that we lose. This year carnival. And is the talk in the town? You know the news get wrong. This year them carnival band is 2,000 strong. The fever spreading like ants. The people can't wait to prance. Some of them done had a costume long in advance. Big nose Jean and crap o' Mary boasting openly. We gon' make a jail for them 73. So 73, we folks is going on a rump. Mama, we really planning to jump like a male kangaroo. For you see, we have to enforce a line to compensate for the time that we lose 72. Everybody, all class, making merry, play fast. We go jump in the line, we go roll, we go wine, we go make we back and yeah. Who we're jumping, rolling, who we're rolling, whining. We go make up for all that we lose. This is carnival. And when you come down in south, a different talk going about. Everybody telling you they ain't leaving me out. We only waiting to hear the 73 mass declare. Where we longing for this jump is trouble this year. All we want is sun to burn we, let we feel the heat. And it's mambo jumbo on Coffee Street. So 73 rump. We really planning to jump like a male kangaroo. For you see, we have to enforce a plan to compensate for the time that we lose empty too. Everybody on class making merry flavors. We go jump in the line, we go roll, we go wine, we go make we back and yeah. Who were jumping, rolling, who were rolling, whining. We go make up for all that we lose. This year carnival. Where activities never cease. If I know them people good, they bound to turn beast. Arima say they in that, and they don't joke when they chat. They intend to trample the city flat, 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 flat. If the Carib spirit take them and they start to sway, man they put the jump into Ash Wednesday. So 73, we folks is going on a run. Mama, we really planning to jump like a male kangaroo. For you see, we have to enforce a line to compensate for the time that we lose empty too. Everybody, all class making merry flavors. We go jump in the line, we go roll, we go wine, we go make we bacchanal. Yeah, who were jumping, rolling, who were rolling, whining. We go make up for all that we lose. This year carnival.
Exactly 50 years ago. Yes? So we always say, gentlemen, the more things change, the more they remain the same. So here we are, eagerly awaiting Carnival 2023. And this was Kitchener back in 72, 73, when we had polio, another pandemic, and of course the anticipation of Carnival, the following year. Yes, Mass in May was 72. So, of course, Rainorama became the Road March in 73. Carnival 73 is a really nice piece of history captured there in Calypso as to the anticipation of Carnival, the plans and that so many people are making for Carnival 23 already. Because I'm seeing, Gary, that some of the bands are gearing up. I even saw a teaser from. Yeah, I even saw a teaser from, I think, the NCC as well. So that is a good sign that at least we on the road. And kudos to my friends in the marketing department at NCC for doing some nice work already. Let's hope that we can encourage them to continue. Good evening, Carlston Kerr. How are you going? Carlston,
it was going good, Calypso with. Yes, I'm hearing you. You hear me?
I am hearing you perfectly.
Hello?
Now. Yes.
Loud and clear, yeah.
Yes.
Right, beautiful.
We're hearing you.
You was going to say Calypso, but that would have worked as well. No problem.
Always a comedian, eh? So tell us about this process, because I mean we are trying to get Johnny in. We're also waiting for Rubadiri to talk to us about Pantheon. So we're going to talk with you in the meantime about the process for nominating your members. By the way, folks, Carlston Kerr, Calypso Kerr, is the welfare officer of the Trinbago Unified Calypsonians organization. So let me give you a proper introduction. Carlston, welcome to the eBiz show here on Radio Toco.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Right. You was asking about the process, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, good. What happened to is that it usually is a collective situation in that people come up with a number of names and normally we bounce it off on whoever the president is. And as we're talking about 2022 and we're looking at awardees for 2021 and 2020, I would have bounced off some of my suggestions with the last president, right? And what will happen? He would say, so what about so and so? What about so and so? So based on our time in this space and so on, we look at it objectively, and what we do, we look to see who people might have been servicing the art over a number of years in one fashion or the other, or people even connected. So we look at, so you could look at as well as musicians, and as you all would know, Tuku have been doing a gala ceremony and awarding people who we think would have contributed significantly to the development of the art and to sustain it throughout the years. So what we do, we bounce off names, and then we come up with a particular amount of people, because what happened to that, we can do everybody at a one go. So what we do, we will nominate names, and we have been doing that for a number of years now. And sometimes we lucky to hit it nice. Sometimes we feel disappointed, so we just go at it again the following year, and that's how we go about doing it.
All right. So let what was the process, Gary? You have it. Let me give you a chance to come in there.
The, the
Well,
process for this
first of
for the
all,
last set of people, right? I'm hearing
Yeah,
you.
go. You go ahead. Let Gary go ahead. Gary was asking you a
Okay,
question. I want to give
okay,
him the
okay.
chance
no,
to.
no, no, I wasn't asking a question. I was going to make a statement. Firstly, we should congratulate them all on the show for having received a national award. So we talk about the process. Those who got
Okay.
it, we should say we're glad for them, because we've been trying for the culture thing for a while. Make sure everybody get what they deserve. So congratulations are in order for to all the Calypsonians and musicians.
Recipients. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. While we are that, we should also congratulate the three journalists who received national award too: Dominic Alipasad, Neil Giuseppe, and Debbie Jacob. Because as a part of my profession,
I think
I
Yes.
say
which is I
congratulations to
think
them.
Neil Giuseppe as well received an award. I
Yeah,
think.
Neil, Dominic, and Debbie. Well, I call them my first name, like
All
you
right.
associated with them for a while anyway. Neil Giuseppe,
So
Dominic
that's
Alipasad,
good.
and Debbie
Yeah.
Jacob. Right. So now that we get the congratulations out the way, included in that would have been
Yes.
Michael Bootman in the Michael Bootman and Stumpy, whatever Stumpy Chapman.
Yes. Yes.
We
Yes.
see them as musicians. So while we talking Calypsonians, we have to include these
As well as
and John
Errol,
Ferreira
as well as
and Errol Inns.
Ernst,
Yeah,
right?
we pulling in all the musicians under this bracket here tonight. We will
Yeah.
discuss further at length, probably each individual. But for now, thank you for the information on the process. But
Yeah.
tell me now, once nominated and accepted, what's the next step? You inform your people?
No, no, no. Because it's a strictly confidential situation, what we do,
Mm,
we send the nominations to the Prime Minister's office. They have
yeah.
a committee that sits and decide. First of all, what they do, they acknowledge receipt of the nominees. And in
Mm,
this pandemic that lasted for so many years now, for 2 years now, what we did, we submitted the names, and we could have not gone through the normal process as handing in the nominees by hand. So we had to do it by email. So I took time out during the course of the lockdown to sit on my laptop and do what was necessary. And you sign in and everything, and you're doing everything from home, then you email it within a particular time frame. So I just went through that process. And I think what they do as well, though, they call the nominees and ask them
oh,
if they would accept, if selected, if they would accept, you
oh,
know,
right, right.
and they take it from there. Now, I may hasten to add that some of the people who would have been nominated and have gotten a call like that, not all have come through and receive an award. And that's how it goes.
Okay.
You follow? You follow, right?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
we're
is
following you.
clarified it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know of people who called me subsequently and told me that they was called and asked if they would accept, if selected, if they would accept, and the answer was in the affirmative, but they didn't call them back subsequently. Others
Okay.
will call back subsequently.
Is it safe to say that the names or the people who received the awards this year came from your listing from 20 and 21?
Yes,
Okay. So all this was done for just 1 year. It was over the time that the 2 year that we didn't have
yes, 20 and
national
21.
awards. Right.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, go
We're
ahead
trying
on.
to get Johnny in. It's kind of raining on the northeastern side, so he should be joining
Okay.
us very soon, hopefully. Yeah. So you said that I was on the phone with Johnny a little while ago there. So you were
Yeah.
saying that all the folks who were called and so on, some of them did not receive. I pick up a little piece of that. What was the
Yes. Now, all the people who they would have called doesn't necessarily mean that when they ask them if they would accept, it doesn't necessarily mean that at the end of the whole entire process that they would
Process.
have
Oh,
been
okay.
followed through and called upon again. You know.
All right.
But I'll be happy to add that the majority of the people who they
Uh-huh.
would have called and who was nominated through the welfare desk in consultation with the president at the time have been afforded some measure of acknowledgement, whether it be hummingbird or whatever, you know?
Right. So these 2020,
Yeah.
how many Calypsonians, musicians, contributors to Tuco, the Calypso art form, were how many names were submitted
Nominated.
for 2020? Well, yeah,
I I could
yeah.
I could say off the top of my head, for 2021 it was seven, and I
Uh-huh.
think for 2020 it might have been like about five or six.
Oh, okay. So is a kind of five, six, seven people, more or less
Yes,
same figure.
sometimes yes, but remember the process is that notwithstanding our nominations and so on, it's a situation by which any citizen of Trinidad and Tobago could feel free to
Right.
make a nomination. So if we
Right.
nominate,
Definitely.
let's say X nominate somebody, and Y or who's on the outside could nominate somebody in their own private space, you know.
Right. I was particularly happy a couple of years back. I think it might have been either 2018, 2019, to see um, Willard Harris finally getting some acknowledgement, because
Oh
when it
yeah, oh
comes
yeah,
to
oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes,
yes,
oh yes,
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 I was really happy because he is not taken away from anyone else in the art form.
yeah,
He is
yeah,
a real talent. A real talent. I mean, like
yeah.
he he have a done pat, as they say. So I'm a fan of all Calypsonians, by the way. So I was really happy to see that. So I know years ago that Lord Kitchener, or got an award. I think it would have been, according to some information I saw from Zeno Constance, it would have been in the early, I think it might have been 1969 or thereabouts. They himself and Sparrow would have received awards, and then a couple of years, let's say about a decade or more ago, even the Lamo had a song about it. My name is Trinity. When
Yeah.
he refused the national award, and now that we have the ORT, I think it's a good time to probably um, maybe nominate Kitchener again,
Yes, you're
based on
correct.
his
Actually,
contribution.
that's what we do. Um, as a matter of fact, I could safely say that we had nominated some times ago. We had nominated Power, right?
Right.
And and renominated him and renominated him and renominated him, and it never made the cut.
Okay. Yeah, that's another one of those stalwarts of the calypso. Not
Yeah,
just as a calypsonian and a great composer and performer, but as a human being, a really solid human being. You know,
yeah.
even
So
posthumously.
I would revisit that one as well as Samuel
Mhm.
Abraham too.
Yes, yes, indeed, because this year Kitchener in particular, you know, will be would have turned 100 this year. His
Yes,
birth anniversary is the 18th of April, and of course we are celebrating Kitchener. We started about the 23rd of February. We're going down to the towards the end of April. As a matter of fact, his
yeah.
birth anniversary will fall on Easter Monday this year.
Hmm.
So we continue our celebration of Kitchener. And of course, this is the eBiz show on Radio Toco 106.7 FM. We're also on Radio Garden. So tell your friends anywhere they are in the world, just type in Radio Toco 106.7 FM. So if you're in Sweden, Ukraine, Russia, wherever, listen some good calypsos. you know,
That might help
so
to stop the fighting.
Yeah, Calypso to save
you
the
know,
world.
as
Right.
there was a particular song as we was talking about Power a little while ago. Power had a song called "Teach Them." Teach them about mass and calypso, and they won't have
Yeah.
a chance or,
Hmm.
or the time to 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 fight wars and so on. Krabby, let's get a little bit of Johnny King music and we come back and try to get Johnny inside and talk with him. Johnny would be most likely one of many as we go through to join us because we have Delamo, we have Luther, um, and so many others to talk to in this show as we go along. So let's do some Johnny King and come right back with some more chat. Try to get Johnny in here, and later on we'll talk about Pantheon with Ribaderi Victor. So it's all about the culture here. What we have there, Cabby. Let's go, Johnny King. Nature.
A week but I'm holding on in order to stay around in a life terribly imbalanced. For it is nature's way until judgment day. Weakness ain't got a chance. Playing strong cause I realize the price little one must pay to keep the big one in paradise. It's torment and misery all day. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's heyday. So they will bite the ground when the master plays. As long as you have the cash and all your strings attached, you're on earth but living in heaven. There's nothing for thee for or as evermore. Life in a lion's den. Hungry man shall aspire to keep the high man on top, to take him higher and higher. The poor one must struggle till he drop. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's day. So they will bite the ground when the master play. Down in South Africa, white men with gun power have the natives under subjection. The black majority live in poverty, all because they ain't strong. Black man life is a thoroughfare. Nature make him a slave. South Africa is a nightmare for colours from cradle to the grave. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's day. So they will bite the ground when the master play. Dun, dun, da, da, da. 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 Today is bound to hold. Nature will somersault, bringing sudden death to this wild place. And only those who clean going to make this scene. How you work, you get paid. Sufferers shouldn't worry. Nature taking its course. Tomorrow you may be happy. Just hold on. If you let go, you're lost. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's day. So they will bite the ground when the master play. Yeah, 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 yeah. Dun, dun, da, da, da. Dun, dun, da, da, da. Dun, dun, da, da, da. Dun, dun, da, da.
And that's, of course, Johnson King, Johnny King, and Nature's Plan, and of course, dealing with the whole question of the apartheid system as well as inequality generally. Uh, it seems as though Kerr has left us. Oh, so Gary, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I spoke with Johnny a little while ago, and he told me that he was in the Sangre Grande area, and they were having a bit of rain. Um, so we're looking forward to maybe getting him to join us before we close off. And Rubaderi should come in at about 9 o'clock in terms of the telling us about the Pantheon exhibition. So we were talking a little early as well about the South by Southwest and all the happenings in terms of carnival and
Music.
and preparations, you know. So it's a good sign that people are are beginning to think carnival, and let's
Yeah,
hope that maybe this could be a habit. This could be habit forming then. Let me put it like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, well,
No, come on.
it shows.
I
I think
always
it
like to
shows.
look on the
It
brighter
shows.
side of things, you know.
It shows how we learned something. We started to plan a whole year in advance. If we
This
start
is
thinking
this this
Carnival
is this
23
is
from
mar
today,
this is
that's a
was it
mark
what's that you
improvement,
said?
you know. That's a mark
Yeah,
improvement if
yeah,
we start thinking Carnival from today. Because
yeah.
normally
I,
we don't talk Carnival until October, November, you know.
yeah.
So it's a definite
So
improvement.
so
COVID did
so what
something anyway.
so what you're saying in fact, we've always been having a taste of carnival for the longest while.
All the time. All the time. COVID did something to us. We started to plan Carnival a year in advance, which is good.
Woo. No, because okay, so
Listen
it,
to Kitchener. Listen to Kitchener sound just now. It made me
right.
wonder if we would be that hungry after the 2 year lapse, if we would be that hungry. Because that song
Uh-huh.
is a fantastic song. When you listen to the lyrics in that song, are we going
Yeah.
to be that hungry?
Well, we
I don't
saw
know.
we saw Gary. No, but listen, let me we saw, remember there was a year, I think Marlene McDonald would have been the Minister of Culture. And for some reason we had to use the 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 tarmac outside of the savannah. It
Yeah,
might have been I think might have been either 2015 or 2016 or thereabouts, right? Um and I sat down in the savannah. I was working then. Some around 15, yeah? Was it? Somewhere around there.
yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, but look, I sat down in the savannah working and looking at the reaction of the masqueraders when they finally got a chance to come back on that stage. And I am thinking that yes, it the same thing will occur in 2023, God's willing, because people Trinidadians like to release. I mean,
So
and we had 2 years where when we didn't really release. I mean, in the way that we accustomed to. So definitely, if you're getting a chance to release and not have all the burdens of COVID and restrictions and whatever, I definitely think that
inflation is the next one
people
coming at me.
who's this?
Inflation is the next one coming at us right now.
Well, we've dealt
Yeah,
we
we can't get away
we've
from
been
it.
down those roads before as a nation, and
Yeah.
whether or not we learn anything from those occasions is another story. But what I'm saying is that you know it's
Are we?
inevitable because
Well, we have to put it on order and make it stay stronger. Then, as we tell them,
we have to do what?
the kind of release. We have to make the state stronger.
Mhm.
If we come in to make that kind of mass, we have to reinforce the stage. Then,
Well, most definitely, I agree with you that maybe yeah, because I mean in one of the lines in that Kitchener song, he's so commenting on the rain. He say, as long as the sun burn we,
that's
he don't
right.
really care. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, but 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 I think it's a really good thing that people and then the marketing people definitely need to start looking outward from
They have work to
right
do.
now.
They have plenty
Right,
work to do.
right now. The Ministry of no, is in the perfect place. Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and the Arts. That's an important mix there. In so it's a one-stop shop. Time to
Yeah, they
to
go
to
hand in
to
hand.
get
Yeah.
yeah, time to get your stuff together and push out and and let's see if we could get that same quota, maybe a little bit less, and then also at the same time, couple it, couple it with the hey, look, Krabby showing us the Road to Carnival 2023. I don't know if you've seen it, Gary.
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so what I say, the marketing people need to do their work now in terms of getting people inside of here to fill those rooms. One, for them to spend those dollars, um, and let's see what we could put back in the coffers. Most important, in the pockets of the creatives who for 2 years have felt the brunt of this pandemic, and then of course Putin's war, Vlad against Vlad. you know, Vladimir Zelensky against Vladimir Putin. I mean, come on, senseless nonsense.
To us, it's
What did I
senseless.
just say?
To
Senseless
us, it's
nonsense.
senseless. Yeah. To us, it's senseless. But to
Senseless
them,
nonsense.
there's a
Yeah, Vlad against Vlad. I tell you, all because of ego. But we ain't go. Let me leave them on the war
yeah.
story.
We ain't ready to talk war
Let's
yet.
yeah
Let me stay with our
yeah.
awardees. I'm pretty happy that Earl is receiving an award.
Most definitely.
For too long, we have not given Erlens his just due.
Yeah,
Erlens was a
and of
master of the
course,
trumpet in Europe, Before he
yeah.
came back home, he was a master of the trumpet, number one trumpeter in Europe, And we never really took him on.
Right. But
Unless again, it's because you come back home to play
always
calypso.
that is no, but that is always the story with Trinidad and Tobago. Because if you look back to the 30s when Attila and Lion went to New York, they were guests of Rudy Valley, a well-known actor, radio host, and so on. And they were broadcast on radio coast to coast in the United States. You know, real that's big time. And this is the
Put
30s
up
you're
at the
talking
best
about.
hotels. Put up at the best hotels in America. Yeah, yeah.
Was
Oh,
was this
I
was
guess
this?
put up at the best hotels in America at the time. They had it. They
Right.
had it. But again, we don't. And if you don't know
Trinidad
your
and
history,
Tobago,
if you don't know your history, you really tend to
or if you
repeat
don't
your
care,
mistake.
if you don't care to know, is the other story. Because let me tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago has always been the reason why Trinidad and Tobago has not moved forward.
Yeah, yeah,
Long and short.
yeah.
Long and short. Because, anyways, but anyways,
I got it.
let us.
That's for another time too. Another great recipient is Stumpy. Stumpy has been toiling
Yeah,
for years. For years, Stumpy been toiling.
right.
And again, we really don't take on Stumpy how we should take on Stumpy.
Yeah.
Um, to me, Stumpy come like
Because Stumpy, another person as you mentioned, Stumpy, we have um and Tony Wilson. He's still in the he's you're laughing, no
still
laugh.
in Diego.
He
Yeah,
he
because I know the
he is
history, I know
still
the
right
story.
there as you enter Diego Martin. Tony Wilson
Yes,
of
in Diego.
hot chocolate fame is in Trinidad. He's
Yeah,
been in Trinidad for some years. I
for
think he's now
years.
in his 80s. You understand?
Yeah,
That is a gentleman that we need. We need
doesn't go to any
like
mountain.
punto, punto. No, 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 no. To honor in some way, form, or fashion. You know.
Yeah,
Um, we need to have some kind of benefit, something for Tony to show some kind of appreciation for the work he has done, not just with hot chocolate, but also with
because he has
Stumpy and
written
Wildfire and
plenty
all of
songs,
them.
plenty songs. Yeah, outside
Yeah,
of Hot Chocolate, plenty songs.
yeah,
But
yeah.
as
He
I say,
he's done a
if
whole lot of music.
what when last you heard the name Tony Wilson?
You
When last
understand
you
what I'm
heard the
saying?
name Tony Wilson? When last did you hear a song by Tony Wilson on a radio station in Trinidad and Tobago?
Any radio
And
station,
listen,
even
these
the
guys
adult
don't know.
contemporary
These
stations.
guys don't know these artists, so they cannot play the music.
Hmm.
And I'm saying this with
I,
conviction. They don't know. They don't know the history. They
yeah,
don't know the history of the artists of Trinidad and Tobago, so they cannot play the music. And I always remember
yeah,
half of them think soca started with Marshall Montano, and I just use
yeah.
as my yardstick. I use it as my yardstick that these young people don't know history of music of Trinidad and Tobago. And they're not interested anyway. No food is said.
Exactly.
They,
I
they're
think
not
is
interested.
there's no real interest in trying to,
Yeah, there's no
because let me
interest.
tell you something. I heard we always have to quote Sprangy. You
Well, of
said
course,
some of
you know,
them
sprang in the
urban stations.
dictionary.
Sprang say one time, you say, boy, all them all them urban station good to do is to tell you when the next KFC is and when is the next party. So,
Oh, God.
but but in between there's some youngsters who have the thing, and they tend to do a little research and so on,
But it is get hard
because
to say it because of the peers. Nobody
yeah, the
is stand
peers,
up
yeah,
on their own.
because remember you try to play bright man, or
Yes,
you
yes,
understand?
yes.
So is that kind of, they go bully you and tell you pray too bright? What kind of thing is that?
Okay, okay. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About nine entertainers, musician entertainers, receive national award. Since then,
Right.
how much music from these 9 people you've been hearing on the radio?
Oh yeah.
Let me be
None
honest.
really. None really.
Exactly.
It
Because
it it don't it don't matter to
no interest
the
whatsoever.
program directors, the musical directors, the owners of stations. You see, they're always looking outward, and that's the thing. We need to look within and appreciate what we have, and that's how a lot of things and a lot of people could and would move forward, because I mean, once you have the home support, I mean, labels will want to, get you
Well,
inside it.
we can't really depend on China for labor to look at. We got to depend on the Caribbean. How many people in the Caribbean? 5 million, 6 million. If you have a bucket of 6 million people, they will start looking in your direction.
No,
If
but
you
what,
don't
what
have
I'm
that
saying
kind
is
of
that
bucket, they're looking at you.
no, but what I'm saying is that even I think I saw a clip, um Skilly Bang or one of those guys. He got signed to RCA recently. Krabby, I don't know if you could probably just strengthen the point a little bit if you're close right there. So and there was this argument because I think he was repping Trinidad and Tobago with one of those national flag bandanas. So people were thinking that
Mm-hmm.
he was a Trinidad, but it seems as though he's always here in Trinidad, and
Guys, we get vibe. We get
he
the
liked the
vibe
vibe. He
here.
liked the
Yeah.
Trinidad and
Yeah.
Tobago vibe, that kind of. So um, he was signed to RCA recently, you know.
Which is interesting,
So
because again, another awardee, another recipient, Michael
another
Bootman, is another
Michael
recipient
Boothman,
now.
yes,
Over 70
yeah,
years ago, he was like the RCA. You understand? Over 70 years ago. But
of
who
course.
knows about Michael
That
Bootman? And
album with Digo Shuffle and all those songs. I remember that.
yeah, signed the RCA almost 70 years ago. And we still,
Yeah,
Mike was on the Billboard chart for how long? We still trying our best to talk about Beacon Billboard chart. We made the
yeah,
Billboard chart already. That's history.
yeah. Along with
If it's
Carlian
a,
as well,
yes,
Disco
Carly, if you
Reggae
want
and
to
all those
re-enter
songs.
the Billboard chart, tell me that. Don't tell me we try to make
Yeah,
Billboard.
re-enter
We
because
made
we go.
Billboard. We made Billboard.
we, I mean, and if we go back to some of the work that Rubaderi did in terms of last year, we did the ball when Nicki Minaj had this revelation about her cousin's friends um coconuts that was sold
Mm-hmm.
because of the
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 vaccine.
vaccine. Yeah, we did here on Radio Toco something called the ball, and maybe at some point we'd rerun that audio of that program, where Rubadiri highlighted on the indigenous music show, um, all the musicians and who were in, be it rap, from Trinidad, James to Nicki Minaj to what's her name? The other girl with Trinidadian heritage. We have
Heather
Foxy
Headley and
Brown.
them
Um,
people.
yeah,
We,
and
we
so
we
many
tend to look at the
others.
younger ones, not knowing that
Right.
they had people there already.
People who paved
Heather
the way.
Headley,
You know that
Billy
kind of way.
Ocean, Billy
Billy
Ocean.
Ocean, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
You know,
he little fights about
and
boy.
that's the thing. Yeah, and that's the thing. We tend not to to dig enough or research. You know,
Well, yeah, again, it's history.
and
If
know
we
the
don't know the
facts.
history, we can't really talk about it, you know.
Yeah, you can. So you gonna figure that every time we now trying something,
So
but if you think
reinvent the
about,
wheel.
yeah, exactly. So if you don't know that this is the first, this music was recorded before, long before jazz and thing.
Mm.
You understand? This the first ever record to sell a million copies would have been Calypso, an
Harry
album entitled
Belafonte.
Calypso by Harry Belafonte. You know that kind of way.
Harry Belafonte,
We
yeah.
had a Calypso. We had the first, well, it's something like First Sight, you say, but the
But
original
that's what they need to
Gilligan's
know.
Island,
They need to know. They need to
yeah,
know it.
the Gilligan's Island theme was a calypso at first, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and then of course I was listening to a band from Ghana called E.T. Mensa, and they pure calypso, pure
Yeah.
calypso. I mean, you're hearing songs like Donkey City and other songs that they covered, and they were around from like the 50s, come up the road, that kind of way. So we our music, we're out there. All we have to do is build again, and that's coming back to the whole promotion of Carnival 2023. You know,
Yeah.
all we need to
From
do
now. From now.
from right now, and also we need as well to concentrate on those regional carnivals. The like the central and so on,
Carpe
and
China.
and yeah,
Mearo.
Caripichima and so on. You know, to and market those things as events that tourists can participate in. You know, so
Yeah.
that's the
You don't have
traditional
to. You
mass,
don't have to
the
be in
the, the
Port
bat.
Spain.
Huh? What's this?
You don't have to. You don't have to be in Port Spain. You can be. You can
You
be
don't
in
have to be
Trinidad
in Port
and
of Spain, and
Tobago.
then of course,
That's right.
and right, and then of course, well, Tobago is another story because they want to do a different kind of mass. You call that mass in Dubai. Anyway,
Jamaican Amas. Technical Amas. Tobago making Amas. Look, let Tobago make the strides, huh? Tobago making strides,
anyways,
huh?
yeah. But that's good. We just get we having fun at their expense, but
Not really.
you
It's
know,
not fun. You know. It's something that happening. We just talking.
yeah.
And the
Well,
mere
why
fact that we're
not?
talking about it is good for them.
Yeah, because well, we need to do some work
Oh,
right now. Continue doing the work and market the thing so that people. And the other point I wanted to make that we also need to do the virtual element, not just the in-person carnival
what is
2023, but
what is
also
that word? What is Rubadawi favorite word? He has a word for that, that I like.
yeah,
When he talk,
probably
I
when he
like that
comes in,
word. Yeah, I like that word. I really like that word. Two
yeah, we'd
two
ask
people
him
two
again.
people we didn't two people we didn't
Yeah, go
mention
ahead.
in the praises was two people are Bama and Professor.
Yes, posthumously.
Bama and Professor,
Yes,
yeah. We didn't mention them. But, but
and of course
wherever
the
they are,
Bomber, the
wherever they
godfather
are,
of Calypso. Eh?
God, boy.
Yeah,
Different.
yeah, that and then of course he will come from the era with um Spoiler and those guys.
Hmm.
He even won Calypso King competition with Bomber's Dream. That kind of that contribution. But he helped and brought forward a lot of Calypsonians. He used to write for two
Yes,
of his songs.
he would. And
People to
I don't
remember.
think,
That's like
I don't
singing
think many
Diane.
people know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think many people knew he used to write for other people so much.
and Francine Equal Rights was another one of those song bomber that is a standout in terms of really nice melody and you sit down and you could listen to and sink your teeth into that his music. Let's see if we can get Rubaderi inside to talk about Pantheon. It's just on 7 minutes after 9 o'clock. This is the eBiz show on Radio Toco 106.7 FM. Let's let's get some music from Krabby. We'll still do some Johnny King.
Oh,
What
you
do you
got
have?
people who are crazy.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
Superpowers are locked in a battle, fighting for control, creating a whole lot of trouble in this world. They keep talking and pretending how they care about world peace, yet the making of nuclear weapons won't cease. All their concern is to prove who is really super, while they confirm confrontation and war. That's why I say superpowers are warmongers, wiping out life by degrees, trying to prove who's stronger, spreading a deadly disease. So all this peace talk and bomb talk is old talk and skylark. While they're talking, people dying, human rights on the run, people starving, still these mongers sending money and bombs.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
Superpowers want to colonize every country. Both like helpers to control your destiny. Never fight at home, but invade your lands to play their war games. On their super throne, war and peace is the same. That's why I say superpowers are among us, wiping out life by degrees, trying to prove who's stronger, spreading a deadly disease. So all this peace talk and bomb talk is old talk and skylark. While they're talking, people dying, human rights on the run, people starving, still these mongers spending money on dumps.
And that's, of course, Johnson King, Johnny King, and Superpowers, our warmongers. And of course, what can we say? Said it all in the song. That up the road. So we should be joined now by Rubaderi Victor to tell us all about Pantheon.
Fun.
Good evening. How are you?
Hi guys. Hi Trinidad and Tobago. You hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Thanks for having
So,
me, Andrew.
sure. I see you're doing some fantastic work. I know a couple of years ago I saw you. I think it was Derek's mass camp or some. You had gone to secure a costume or something. I can't remember the exact story, but this exhibition now is I think it would have started a little while ago. Tell us about how this whole idea came up.
Okay, so
Pantheon.
the exhibition is Pantheon, an exhibition on the king and queen costumes of the Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. It's held right now. It's at Mille Fleurs, what's one of the Magnificent Seven, 2 buildings up from QRC, Queen's Royal College.
Right.
It
We're
runs
getting a little virtual.
right. It opened on Wednesday, the 9th, and it continues to Sunday, the 27th. It's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it features king and queen costumes and on the grounds of the Mille Fleurs, as well as inside, as well as 33 panel history and exploration of the king and queen costume tradition and the carnival tradition, as well as a next set of exhibits in tribute to the artisans, especially the wire benders, featuring the wire bending, the Trinidad and Tobago Wire Bending Association, and the works of their phenomenal members. And there are all kinds of little things inside there, interactive kind of exhibition, exhibits where people can touch and do hands-on stuff and take pictures with costumes and different kinds of things. And there are 4 events going to be held. The first event is this Thursday from 6 to 8. It's a lecture, and it features the featured artisans who are going to speak about the costumes that are on display, as well as I am going to give an overview of the exhibition, the scopes, and those kinds of things. Following Thursday is going to be another lecture, again 6 to 8, on the African influence in the Trinidad and Tobago masquerade, debunking some of the myths about the carnival is a French thing and it's slaves looking through our window and imitating things that they see white people doing, some kind of thing. Investigating the thousands-year-old masquerade tradition of West and Central Africa, for which a lot of our masquerade comes from and our music culture and all kinds of things come from. And then on this Sunday, there's a tea party from 10 to about 2, 3 o'clock, featuring celebrity chefs. And that's a fundraising event for the National Trust, who runs the Mille Fleurs, and to upkeep the Mille Fleurs and the other heritage buildings that are under its purview. So that's a $400 ticket kind of thing. It's called Monarch Tea Party, because the guests of honor are the king and queen of Carnival and other kings and queens and that kind of stuff. And you get to dine, and the costumes will dance, and you eat some celebrity chef stuff, and you take in the exhibition, and and people talk and hobnob and whatnot and stuff. And then finally, the exhibition closes on Saturday the 27th with a family day for the whole day, 10 to 6, but from 10 to 4, costumes will be there dancing, right? A number of costumes will be there dancing. So you could bring the kids, let out the kid in you, just come and enjoy, kings and queens and costumes dancing and that kind of stuff. There'll be storytelling, other kinds of things. And, it's just a fun day amidst the thing is, this is a great house, the Magnificent Seven. These are great houses. This particular building was the first mayor of Port of Spain. This was a gift to him from his wife. So, them living large, people living large in those times and stuff, right? And you're watching here some of the costumes. This is by Patrick Roberts, 2 really incredible costumes with an Amerindian theme. This was the second place queen costume, Madame Coquier.
Right.
So
you're saying that this building, Mille Fleurs, was a gift?
Gift. And the incredible thing is that so these 7 houses would have overlooked the savannah and the plantation, and on the other side of the hill, the savannah, are the hills of Belmont, Gonzales, etc., where the slave and enslaved and formerly enslaved and stuff lived, who would labor on said and surrounding patches of land and stuff. But here we are 100 and something years later. The people from the hills have taken over the great house, and their kings and queens now occupy the inside and grounds of the great house. And that has everything to do with what Cambodian emancipation and the carnival is all about, and the experiment of freedom that is the Caribbean,
Right.
And it is all about that trajectory of,
I saw on the calendar of events something, a moonlight something. I can't.
The lectures, the Thursday lectures, this Thursday and the next Thursday from 6 to 8 are moonlight lectures. The grounds and the costumes and everything are especially beautiful at night. It's real romantic. Bring out your babes. Bring out your significant other, and it's a really, 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 to walk the grounds with the costumes and the lighting and all that stuff is, it's really something else. I would urge people.
Who are some of the people responsible for that whole the nighttime experience at Mille Fleurs in terms of lighting the costumes and who were some of the other people involved?
In the order of thanks, a lot of thanks. First I'd say the National Trust Toco, the building, the Mulefloor building is under their purview. Their offices are there. They were very open to the idea of us being there, and in exchange for the value that we're adding to the place, the rooms, these things are thousands of dollars to rent per day, and we are there for 2.5 weeks. So, I really have to tip my hat to them. They understood the proposition and they were cool. The mayor of Port of Spain and the city hall and his team, who last year when we held Pantheon for the first time, so it was last year that we held it, Andre, and the costume you're talking about is Stephen Derrick's Urzuli, which was one of the last costumes he did. And whilst we were putting together the thing for Woodford Square, we got the word that the costume had been discarded and had been thrown in our rubbish heap. And I went down and rescued the costume, and it became part of the exhibition, and now it's stored under my house.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so the mayor, first of all, they gave us the permissions to use Woodford Square, and then on seeing the exhibition, they adopted the exhibition as part of the calendar of events for the city in posterity. So Pantheon is now part of the annual calendar of the city of Port of Spain and happens under the patronage of the mayor of Port of Spain, who in fact gave the feature address and declared the exhibition open this year. So
beautiful.
Our hats to the mayor. My partner in crime in putting the entire thing together has been Kirk Langton from Orange Design Studios. Kirk helped me put everything and design everything last year. We bounce off one another and kind of figure out with the resources we have how we able to, get things to happen and install, 33 panels and X amount of wire bending things, and like tomorrow we're moving in 10 king and queen costumes into the space.
I'm seeing some wire bending stuff happening there.
10 more design wise and that kind of stuff. So Kirk, definitely. The Wirebend Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Roger Hicks and crew, they were indispensable in getting artifacts from their members, as well as a number of the king and queen costumes themselves to us. And all of the king and queens have been designers
Tell them you're on the radio.
So many people to thank. We have sponsors. Carib has come on board as a sponsor. Gregory Abu, second year in a row, has advanced financial contribution. Downtown Merchants Association and Junior Booth. And there are people like Prestige Holdings and Bermudez, Blue Waters, who've contributed product. And just a lot of different people have. Now, on the flip side, we have an issue right now, which is exactly kind of what the exhibition is created to counter. So, as I said, part of the exhibition this year is a tribute to the artisans. Trinidad and Tobago is a festival nation. We run through the round of the 5 tribes, major tribes of the planet. We run through their round of festivals. We're one of the only places in the world that something like that happens, where we share one another's dishes and energies and ancestral festivals and all these kinds of things. Everybody shares in these things. And at the heart of those things are these artisans. There are a lot of these massive artifacts, whether it be Jose Taja's Ramlila effigy.
Just froze up.
Fellas bending bamboo, bending cane. these guys are at the heart of the civilization. Without them, there is no Trinidad and Tobago. But this country really disrespects these men. I mean, we have not put these men at the center of the civilization and honored them in that way. Some of the greatest creations of all time that we could stand up on as a people, you know, the great king and queens and the Hosi Tajas and all these things of the past. We have not honored the men who built these things. And so this exhibition is about honoring the wirebenders and those artisans at the heart of the Trinidad and Tobago experiment and experience. And we had an issue where there was a commercial interest that came in and used the people's costumes and stuff without informing anybody or asking.
Really?
And when we found out, because nobody knew, when they saw the commercial exploitation of the thing, they you know, we engaged them. It's like we like what you did. It looked nice, but you know, you can't really do that. You know, I mean, you can't come into a space and do this thing and then make commercial use of it. You know, with tens of thousands of viewers and all kind of thing. They didn't see that way.
Oh,
they said they think they were doing the artist a favor.
Wow.
By
Always the case.
By giving them exposure. You know the thing about exposure?
Yeah. The exposure story. Yeah, I know that story.
Yeah.
I know that.
The exposure. They say like but they get exposure, and you know that should be enough. You know, I mean, tens of thousands of views later after they. And so we said like we offered. I say, hey, what we like the thing. We like what you did. We didn't want to be antagonistic. Let's say the genius of your product and the genius of Trinidad and Tobago Carnival come together and give them an honorarium, a couple $1,000, not much for a brand as big as yours. You know, small money. And because the men vex, legitimately vex, because them men like resting and they just turn on the media and they're seeing, wait, that's not my thing jumping up. Jumping up with one of the biggest brands in the world there. You know what I mean? And they said no. You know? They said no. You know, they would rather go another route. They would rather go the legal route than pay the lawyers the money rather than the working class artisans whose stuff you use.
Wow.
And that is exactly what the exhibition is about. The exhibition is about honoring artifacts and honoring the human being that makes those things. Honoring the intellectual property invested in the thing, the sweat, equity, the $30,000 plus that them men invest in creating these artifacts, the fact that there is no other artifacts like it on the face of the planet. There's no other one like that. It's not a mass-produced something. There's only one of that thing, you know? And it is a privilege for you to partner and use it, and not the other way around, you know? And they couldn't see that at all. And so we are in the midst of engaging that, unfortunately. Very unfortunate.
Yeah. Well,
very, very soft all of a sudden. I don't know why.
The fact that they went and do what they had to do, they don't know how much money they can make out of it. Why can't you?
Yeah, I mean, they got their value already.
Creators
got their value already.
Exactly.
Tens of thousands of views. People asking about their products in the comments column, you know, hundreds of likes, dozens of shares. You know what I mean? Value was had, you know?
It would take a while. It would take a while, but they could
it took them 6 hours to pull it down from the time we engaged them to the time that they finally took it down. It's six hours. Thousands of views.
It's very sad But no, but it's very sad to hear that they rather pay legal fees than to pay the artisans
Pittance, eh?
less
Pittance.
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 And that is the disrespect.
Nah,
That is the disrespect we talk about. I have no respect for the artist.
boy,
None whatsoever.
gosh, boy.
But Eric,
Very
You can't be serious. This is
what is the
this is
traffic like in
2022.
Milford?
We've got a couple dozen people thus far. The unfortunate thing that today was supposed to mark our kind of so having like the first last week to now has really been setting up and working out kinks and moving things in and out and it's been expanding because more people as they hear about it want to bring
What's up,
costumes in, want
yes.
to bring stuff,
Going to be part
vetting
of it.
things, all of that. And as you know that I'm also dealing with my mom who has gotten a stroke in the last
Yeah, how
3
is she doing?
weeks. And so the exhibition is actually dedicated to mommy,
Right,
Christiana Bronte. Thank you, Victor.
right.
Right.
So the exhibition is dedicated to her as a queen. She came down there. She's 86. She was down at Woodford Square last year to support, Lyman with the
Right.
Jagassars and them with their costumes and taking in everything and with today's Queen of Carnival, this year's Queen of Carnival, Lyman with her and all of that.
A reunion.
And
A
now she
reunion.
has a
Right.
serious stroke. And just that happened just like the week before. And so it's been taking care of her with my sister and dealing with all those, like that's it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have to deal with the hospital, that she almost
Right.
if
That's
she,
another
she
story.
almost she deteriorated like in the 2 days inside the hospital, she went down, nearly all the way down. They had to get her out of there and into our care for, it was, one working ambulance in the Northwest, one working CT scan machine in the Northwest. I mean, this is $1 trillion economy. This is $1 trillion spent in the last 2 decades here, I mean, we should be,
But everything in
but
Trinidad is
those are
a
the
story by
contradictions of
itself.
the
Be a
streets,
better place.
the abundance and the,
But
and the
yeah.
poverty and all the other things, the money and the
So
disrespect and
so
the
so two things
all the other
in terms of
things.
I know we at what? We have
Say
another
that again?
10 days or so. What I was saying is that we have about another 10 days or so to go for the exhibition, right?
Yeah, and I
What are
should
they
tell people
doing?
that so you can come off the streets, you can walk off the streets and enter the exhibition. But
Sure.
we're asking people to go to the National Trust website, which is National Trust, TRUST.TT, and you can book your time, your date and time online. So there is a charge. It's $50 for adults, $20 for young people under the age of 18, like you, Andre.
Thank you, sir.
So they can go and do that. But we know that schools and NGOs and people who may not be able to afford that want to come. So we are open. You can come and tell us, here's the situation. This is what I could afford, whatever. We will make, waive things for people and their
Right.
their situations and that kind of stuff. But the thing is that
Right.
the meal flow has to be
But
upkept, and the exhibition
right,
costs a
sure.
lot of money to put up, maintain. So
So tell me, are they
and,
doing any kind of a promotion for this event? I mean, like on a regular basis. Any of
well, as
your
I said,
sponsors have,
today was supposed to mark our beginning of our kind of media kind of
blitz kind of
movement,
thing?
but it was spent dealing with this issue with this commercial
Legal
interest
matter.
using, and I spent the entire day. I was supposed to be down by my mom,
Right.
working remotely on stuff and that kind of thing, and instead I was dealing with
Right.
this issue for the entire day, and the intransigence and
That's sad.
stuff, and the refusal to admit that there was value,
Right.
and It was
And
it
that's
was
always the case,
stunning.
that people don't see the value of, and they're always looking at people in the arts as hobbyists, and
But the thing is, the
that's
strange thing
disrespect.
is that, but they use anything, eh?
But that's what I mean. The fact
They
that they went
know
there
they
and
Right,
they
know that if
sold
exactly.
the
they use
thing,
thing,
they know the
it
value of
it
it.
gives them value.
They know
At
the
the
value of
same
it
time, though,
already.
they don't want to cop to that value. You know, they know it is giving them value, but they don't want to cop to the value. They don't want to give that value any credence and stuff. But at the same time, they know that
Mm.
without it,
They making
all they
no
have
money
is
anyway.
a plank of
Yeah,
wood.
yeah.
You know, so it's really unfortunate.
It is
That's
interesting that you run
unbelievable.
into something like that in your exhibition, because people always look for some way, by some means, to get something for free.
Yeah,
That's
this
the world we
Trinidad.
live in here.
And
This
it is
could
this,
have,
and
I
it's,
am
a lot of times it's people who could afford to pay.
exactly, but that's why the
Exactly.
rich. That's why the rich.
That's very much, that's Gary and Rubidiri. That come like people who get complimentaries to go to these shows. People who could
The
afford.
ones who could pay. The ones who could pay. Yeah, the ones who could pay.
I, no, but that, I mean, I I wish I knew who they were. Seriously,
You
we
will
ain't gonna
find
call
out.
their
You will
name.
find out. Though you'll find out.
We definitely, I'll find out. I know I will find out. But it's a real shame. It's a burning shame. I mean, how you could do that? You can't do that. You could do
Listen,
that.
listen.
Really and truly.
The
No, you
plane.
could do that.
So they couldn't come up with the idea for themselves. Somebody else's idea, an exhibition, and from the time it happened, they know what they want out there. You know what they want out there. They sit down and wait for it. They
I
sit
will
down
call
and wait for
brass face.
it.
You know what? Jeez.
Well, of
Jeez,
course, they
nah,
know the
boy.
course will
So
take years.
I
They know
I
the
don't wanna
course will
waste too
take
much
years.
time on those people and
On them.
that breach. You know, I really wanna celebrate
Promote the
the show,
exhibition too.
the King and
I hear.
Yeah,
Queens, and some of the ideas behind this iteration of it, this second year of it.
Right.
So I said part of it is a tribute to artisans, mostly working
Right.
class men and women at the heart of the creative imagination and engineering of the Trinidad and Tobago experience, cultural experience. But another part of the exhibition is, I mean, we have sent out a call to corporate TNT to adopt a costume.
Right.
One of the phenomena of the king and queen tradition is that 99% of the costumes have been destroyed. More than that,
Right.
99.99999% have been
yeah. We don't
destroyed.
say ready. We really
Right?
don't
Right.
say
And
ready.
in First Peoples culture, the old people's culture, Native American, African, Asian, older Asian things, Aboriginal, they, after rituals and stuff, they destroy ritual objects and those kinds of things. But that's because they
Right.
have guilds and secret societies and all kinds of things where the skills are preserved. They're documented, they're
Right. Fair
preserved, they're
enough.
passed on. There are hundreds of members who have that skill and who could replicate it. There's a tradition in a town in Japan. This incredible um, temple that I think was built in the 14th century. All the greatest examples of its artisan craft. The kind of woodwork and how they use the kind of wooden nails and they fit the things together and all the different things and that kind of stuff is embodied in this one temple. Every 20 years, they destroy the temple. They raze it to the ground,
Really?
destroy every single
Uh-huh.
thing, and then rebuild it from scratch
Same
using
way.
the techniques again. 20
Ain't that
years is a
something?
generational cycle. So what they are doing is a huge demonstration of transmission of legacy and saying
Right.
that our tribe, our people, our community will immortally remember how to do the things that we are great at. And so every 20 years, they destroy this temple and they rebuild it exact. No innovation, no nothing, whatever. How it was built in 14th century, that is how they're rebuilding it now.
Right.
Down to the millimeter.
All right.
And that is what the older peoples do. But in a place like Trinidad where nearly none of our indigenous knowledge is in our primary, secondary, and tertiary level education systems. It's not in our media, it's nowhere in any curriculum, it's not in any monuments, it's not in any institutions, it's certainly not in the words and actions of our leadership. So it's, those things have been exiled out of the formal mainstream life of the society. It exists in the fringes by the people who operate and do their work. And I'm saying the fringes, but those things at the center. I mean, Carnival is at the center of the society. That's 1.5, 1.1, $1.2 billion every year. 650 million to 1.2, $1.1 billion every year. So, I mean, and a festival nation. So these things are not, I'm saying fringe, but fringe is really where they've been alienated to. The work of things sustained and passed on and transmitted. So the thing is that a lot of these skills are in one or two people's heads. And so they are jeopardized. We have witnessed, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we created the solution of the Guild of Masters, we said, get the elder master artisans, apprentice with them, the master apprentices, and recreate the master artifacts and document and codify the process so that you have it there. And he said, that is what UTT should be doing, right? So you are canonizing all the elders, you bring them in, and you make them professors, adjunct professors, visiting masters, whatever. And all they're doing there is recreating this stuff, and you documenting how they're doing it. And then you have a curriculum that you could extract from that. That is your comparative vantage on planet Earth. People will come from all over the world to find out how you tune a pan, how to construct a 33-foot posetaja, how to create a king and queen costume, how to, those are things that only we know and that we could patent. And, this is patentable knowledge. This is billions of dollars of patentable knowledge in these elders' heads. And so that is complexified by the fact that we destroy the artifacts, because you now have no forensics. They have nothing to do forensics on. You'll be watching pictures of the great Barclay costumes and the great Kailai Chang and the other things, and seeing but how they men do that, boy? I feel what they do was X, just like somebody in Arkansas and somebody in Luxembourg or somebody in Perth watching the same thing, trying to figure it out. And all the time, you had 160 years head start on the rest of the world. And you throw away your lead. You throw away 160 years head start. To come back and meet them in the same place, and now all years sitting down there trying to figure out the same thing.
Wondering.
Alice in Wonderland. Alice and Alex in Wonderland. You were going to ask, you wanted to ask Rubaderi about some word that he uses.
When we do the virtual, there's a particular word you use.
What's the word?
Anything virtual. There's I try to remember the word.
About imaging the whole television. It has to do something with television or
telegenic.
Telegenic is the word, I think.
Yeah.
That's it. Telegenic. That's telegenic. Because we were talking about the fact we were talking earlier about the fact that you know, NCC and some other people, NCC in the main, they put out little teasers about planning for Carnival 2023. And then, of course, earlier we played Kitchener's Mars 73, which followed 72 with pandemic. So 23 following, you know, and so we had that story about what happened in that period and how people were eager to get on that stage in 1973 and so on. So we were talking about that a little earlier, and this is how the telegenic thing came up. And what I was saying is that maybe we need as well, along with the in-person carnival, to also do the virtual part, and that's when telegenic came in. So what are your thoughts on that? I think you would have seen the teaser from NCC. There's a flyer, I think. Krabby, I don't know if you can put it up first.
Right.
They put up, yeah.
Yeah.
When saying so, we have some talk off air on something we had spoken about some time ago. But good. Yeah. Go ahead.
The thing is that the product that is the big creative. So we know that I keep saying the creative industry is the second largest industry on planet Earth, $2.2 trillion since 2016. For the last 20-something years, it has been the growth economy. It has outstripped extractive industries, manufacturing industries by plenty. There are video game companies that are bigger than oil and gas companies. It is the industry that has been minting more millionaires and billionaires than nearly anything other than that and tech. And it is the gateway to the tech and service industry. They are using the creative industries as the gateway drug for adoption of tech and those things. So the creative industries is the thing. And the arrowhead of the creative industries, the thing that for the years before and especially post-pandemic, in mid-pandemic and post-pandemic, has been streaming services, right? Has been digital streaming and digital delivery of film, television, video games, and that kind of stuff, right? As I said before, the pandemic wiped out a lot of Disney Corp businesses, a lot of its attendant businesses, as well as its parks and that kind of stuff, which are multi-billion-dollar winners and globally and all that kind of stuff. Not just they lost earnings, but they have lost future earnings because of the liabilities that are now on those parks and those things, in terms of things that have been down for a whole year and a half, using them again, the insurance and stuff in case anything happened and that kind of stuff, how you're repairing those things that have not been used, that normally being used every hour on the hour, all of a sudden dormant for a year and a half. What happens, to all that plant and equipment, and all the other businesses, retail, movies, whatever. And they doubled down and they said, hey, $24 billion US investing in the streaming in Disney Plus. We invested in storytelling, Marvel, Pixar. We are going to tell 30-something stories worth $24 billion. And that is going to in the corporation, and that's going to pay us for posterity in the billions per year. Storytelling, digital storytelling, filmmaking. That activity is a filmmaking, storytelling activity. It is all about the television, the four-sided frame, and being able to tell stories inside of that narrative box. And it means that you have to have telegenic skills to be able to
There's that word.
compete in that space. This ain't
Right.
no joke. I mean,
Yeah.
they invest in that money, and Netflix, I mean, they are going after Netflix has 210 million eyes locked in, pairs of eyes locked in. Disney's going for 250,
Right.
260 million. You know, all
Right.
the major media corporations are going after those eyes. All the 7 billion eyes on the planet, they're going after. Where are we? That's I mean, I mean, you call the figures and stuff, 24 billion US is multiplied by 6, right? Right?
Right.
I mean,
Or
it's,
7. Or 7. Is it 7?
yeah, I mean,
And based on the news we hear tonight, could be 10 shortly.
yeah, it's 164, 164 billion TT dollars in
Right.
storytelling.
And we have storytellers.
Do we have leaders that understand that? You know what I mean? Do they understand that that is where the world is? And that if you
Right.
are not in that space, if you are not in that storytelling space, if you have no skin in that game, you're not in nothing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, in a Budo, as they say.
Yeah, that is like what Gary was saying, is that they're so running down the $100 on the barrel, and they ain't they not, and they ain't only 5,000 US for the barrel, for the container to turn into the pan. They're running down the $100 TT, for the barrel of oil, when the real value is the creative intervention. Yeah. And so we are, and if is one thing that we have is stories.
Yeah,
we have the iconography and the mythology and the characters and the, you know what I mean? We know anytime that we got that chance, whether it be the Horace Ove, who was just knighted Sir Horace Ove this year by the Queen, first black filmmaker in the UK, or the V.S. Naipaul's, that we can become the greatest storytellers on the planet, bar none. We know that. The Jeffrey Holders, the Nicki Minaj's and the Billy Oceans.
Yes.
We know that just given a chance, we jump out, So let's give ourselves the chance, let's invest in those people who have the gifts and see where it takes us. The $6,000 TT song that KMC do, that earn a 4 to 6 million, you know what I mean? And counting, and that and would lead to a $26 million Universal deal, is the largest deal for any Caribbean artist, any artist in the Caribbean, from a $6,000 song, to understand the multipliers in this thing,
Is it that they don't understand that kind of money? Is it that they don't understand that volume of money? Or is it that they just don't have any vision whatsoever? It's one of the two, eh? If they have vision, you think money.
People like them. But when it's come from men who look like Shabba, Buju, Sizzler, Jay-Z, B.I.G., Marley, Tosh, Gilberto Gil, Fela Kuti, when that $1 billion possibility come from people looking like that, especially in Trinidad, they want to hear that we go empower them to make that way. So them men go past we. You know what I mean?
Crab in the barrel.
I drive in my nice little thing, and I have my car and my girls and whatnot and stuff, and all of a sudden I will empower that man. with that talent to pass me. I mean, it's all of that kind of little pettiness and stuff
Yeah.
that is part of the society, you know. That unwillingness to crown
So it's not a lack of vision.
the artisans and crown the grassroots kings and queens, and and crown them, you know what I mean? Crown them, you know. All the things of value that you have pass
Yeah.
through them, midwife by them into existence.
Yeah.
Crown them now and just let them add value to your life and make
So
more money for you.
so
It's
so,
not a zero sum game, you
right.
know. It's not just like I was telling that person and that commercial interest today. We don't want this to be an antagonistic thing. We like what you did. It looked real pretty and stuff. However, you used these
People
people's
think
things to make it pretty.
right.
And we're just saying that, you know what I mean, honor them,
That's a
honor their work.
value. That's a value.
Let's
Yeah, that's a
partner,
value.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Simple.
make the thing happen, you know. No.
Anyway, so Robert, we're close to wrap up time. So give us some more information, some more details on the Pantheon.
Say that again. I hardly hear you.
Sorry. I was saying that we are close to wrap up time. So just tell us again a little bit about Pantheon. It's on now at
Yeah.
Millfleur, and tell us about the special events coming up to the 27th of March.
All right. So you could throw up the videos and stuff again so they could see what while I'm talking. So I'm inviting everybody in Trinidad and Tobago down to Millfleur, one of the Magnificent Seven, number 23 Marval Road. It's the second big building after QRC, Queen's Royal College, around the Grand Savannah in Port of Spain. Millfleur, the House of a Million Flowers. Nice blue building. You will see the carnival costumes in the yard and stuff. It's called Pantheon, an exhibition on the king and queen costumes of the Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. It is an exhibition of costumes, but it is more so an exhibition on the history of the king and queen traditions and all the issues around the king and queen tradition and the carnival and the greater carnival trajectory. There are 33 panels that tell that story. There are 10 more costumes moving tomorrow. It's it's an immersive experience. It's 2 floors and outdoor worth of things, artifacts, all kind of things that you never knew before, and those kinds of things. Part of the exhibition is a tribute to the artisans. So there's work by the Trinidad and Tobago Wirebenders Association, the Guild of Wirebenders, and we have incredible work by a number of their artists, Nesto and Roger Hicks and Art Brown and a number of others. Incredible work. We have a number of traditional mask costumes as well, sculpted by great artisans like Winston Daniel, Rish Babulal, and artifacts like grain and information, like a lot of information to read. I mean, I'm working on a book on the king and queens, so this is my way of kind of going after the information and getting people engaged and that kind of stuff, and encouraging debate, because I don't know everything, and so it gets elders to come through and others, experts to come through and engage debates. And we want to encourage people especially to come out to special events that we have in. This Thursday at 6 to 8, there's a moonlight lecture where you can speak to the artisans and they will talk about the costumes. That particular costume that you're watching there will be there dancing. Conduit, messenger. On the wings of that costume has the names of a lot of the icons, dozens of icons that have passed in the last decade plus. So this costume celebrates those icons, and that's me there with the mayor of Port of Spain, who opened the exhibition. and there are acts who designed and built the costume and dances the costume. That costume will be there on Thursday. It will be there on the tea party on Sunday with the celebrity chefs. Go to the National Trust website, nationaltrust.tt, and order your tickets, book your day, come through this Thursday, as I said, 6 to 8, Moonlight Lecture number 1. Next week, Thursday, 6 to 8, Moonlight Lecture number 2. This Sunday coming, the Monarch Tea Party. Come and dine with the King and Queens and celebrity chefs. That's a $400 ticket thing. That's to raise money for the National Trust for the upkeep of heritage buildings and that kind of stuff. And then we have the last event on Sunday, the 27th, whole day, 10 to 6. But the costumes dance from 10 to 4. Or a whole set of costumes come and dance, bring the kids. You know, that will be an incredible event to witness and to be part of. Food, drinks, storytelling, tra-la-la-la. Every day from now to the 27th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Pantheon is at the Mille Fleurs, at the Magnificent Seven around the Savannah. Come and take it in. It is your heritage, your legacy. It is yours, Trinidad and Tobago, your kings and queens, right?
Thank you very much, Rubidiri.
Yeah, like you want to be part of.
That's Lara.
Look here on.
Lara in the house.
So
Okay,
we'll see.
Rubidiri, thanks for being with us. We'll talk. We have some stuff, myself, you, and Gary to talk about. And Gary, thank you as well. Special thanks as well to
not hearing you. Say that again.
I said special thanks to you and to Gary and Carlston Kerr. We were supposed to have Johnny King with us, as we also highlighting the honorees as well. So we're going to continue with that next week. And of course, we have our Kitchener A to Z still on every Wednesday. And of course, we're going through the discography of the Lord Kitchener. And we're discovering some really beautiful pieces of music. I mentioned the Carnival 73 because it's so much history inside of there and tells us that things go wrong in a circle, really. This life. So really, really nice chatting again with you and thanks for the information and inviting people to go out to Mille Fleurs and enjoy the Pantheon. And of course, next week we'll be right back here. Join us again on Wednesday for the D's. We are going through Dr. Daughter, Deceitful One from Kitchener, and so many other pieces from Kitchener on Wednesday. And don't forget,
final thing.
Sure.
So we're calling on the corporate sector, NGOs, things, adopt a costume for the year so they don't have to destroy them.
There we go.
Put it in your lobbies, put it in your atriums, put it in your grounds and those kinds of things so that the costumes can survive until such a time that the state or corporate people give a national heritage warehouse to the sector where that can store these costumes and store the great artifacts and those kinds of things so that we have time to rebuild the artifacts using that warehouse facility. So we're calling on corporate TT and the state, adopt a costume and save it from destruction.
Okay, great. Thanks again. So we're saying good night to all from Radio Toco's eBiz show. And of course, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. And Krabby, thank you as well. And we were supposed to have Johnny King with us, but he couldn't come in tonight. And Kerr got bumped off. But we're going to continue next week. We're going to try to have maybe Luther and Crazy with us to chat a little bit about their music and, of course, general things as it relates to the music business and culture generally in Trinidad and Tobago. So thanks again to all and a pleasant good night. Let's go with some music. What we have.
Good night, all.
Krabby. Long time, boy.
Long time.
Yeah, you might get on.
Yeah, long time, boy, long time.
All right, Olia.
Yeah, take care. All the best, everybody. And all the best to your mom. All the best to your mom. Okay.
Yeah.
Take
Cheers.
care.
Thanks. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
man.
Hope she's
Let's get a bit.
comfortable. Hope she's comfortable.
Okay, great. Krabby, it's all yours.